so quiet now that it's Right. We'll just give it a few minutes while we let people in, and then we'll get started. I can't, Jill and Angela, I can't unmute you, so you will have to unmute yourselves. Just heads up if you're able to. Okay,
Yes.
perfect. All right. How in New York, so Jill and Angela are in New York. Has the snow started to melt there?
Yeah. It snowed a little bit this morning, though.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Enough.
I know, you guys.
Yeah,
Like
they
one after
tried to
another.
clean up. They tried to clean up Jersey City as much as possible, but it's just like these small little walkways in the middle of mountains of snow. So
Right.
it's not great yet, but
Oh,
it's trying.
wow.
Yeah.
Wild.
I mean, that is wild. We haven't
Yeah.
seen that in years.
Right. It's the people trying to get their cars out. And they're
Right.
completely covered. There's trees on some of them, like
Oh
some
my
trees fell
goodness.
down.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, this is like big time. That's going to take a while to dig out of, hey? That's wow.
Yeah.
Kind of
Yeah.
Much.
today, though. So I feel like it's going to melt quicker than it did last time.
Yeah.
Here's hoping. And not
Yeah.
another one, because it would be great if you had 1 to 2 solid weeks next to each other of kids back in school. I'm just
Yes,
saying.
that's right.
It would be really great. For your sake. It would be really
Just
great.
just for, for fun.
Oh my gosh, I know. It's terrible when you're trying, like your kids are like, I'm bored of being home for a snow day. That is the worst.
Yeah.
You're like, how are you bored being home from a snow
Right.
day?
Just
But it
enjoy
happens.
it. You're doing nothing. It's amazing.
I
Right.
know. I know. Except we don't do nothing. We're breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks. I
Yeah.
feel like chocolate
Still
chip
love
cookies
eating.
make me something, whatever. Like, come
Yeah.
on. I know it's funny. Do you guys remember those big padded coats that we had in New York that were like down to your knees, big zippered padded coats with the hoods?
Yes.
So when I was going to work one day at the Mandarin, it was like 9 blocks I had to walk only, or not even. And those big mountains of snow, sometimes they'd cover where you would cross the street and they haven't been dug out yet in the morning. I completely forgot I was wearing one of those coats once and I tried to jump over it and my legs got stopped and I was wedged, like I went in like a cartoon character into one of those because my legs stopped and I couldn't leap over. So it was like kunk and I went straight in.
That's
I was so
amazing.
cold at work that day. I had like it was just not a good thing. So I got rid of that coat when I left New York, but
There's a lot
it
of
did.
puddles now. You can't cross
Oof.
the
I
walkways
Oh,
because there's
those big
puddles.
lakes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I was
Don't
gonna
Yeah.
say it's
jump
so
through.
funny seeing the paparazzi pictures, like, the Demois or whatever in accounts, and you're just like mounds of snow behind these famous people, and they're trying to navigate the puddles and everything. And it's like, oh, you're just a human. You're just like
Yes.
us.
They're just like us, celebrities. They're just like us. Yeah, I know. It's pretty impressive though, I gotta say, in New York
Yes.
to see those pictures. And I love seeing people in Central Park doing all
Oh,
those like crazy
that's the
things.
fun.
The
Come on.
magical.
That's
Yeah.
really
That's
cool.
the best part of it.
Oh,
It
the snowboarding and the skiing and yeah, I
Yeah.
do.
The
Yeah.
Yeah,
DJs.
and the
They have
cats
DJs.
in the snow tube. Like there was
Hmm.
something on Good Morning America with the cats in the snow. I'm like, who takes their cats out in a blizzard? But I digress. It's
There was
fine.
bunnies. There were dogs running around, and then we had in Fort Greene Park in Brooklyn. So
Yeah.
there's a DJ that comes out.
See the
It's
snow
kind of fun.
DJ? You guys
New
are
York.
so creative. We have nothing like that. We just bring the beer out and tell people to ski crazy. That's all they do in Colorado. It's fine.
All right. Well, I think we're going to go ahead and get started. We'll start by just saying hello and introducing ourselves. Thank you again, everyone, for joining us. This is super, super fun to have all these hotels here and chat a little bit about kind of travel advisors and pro advisors and how they can really help your hotel. So my name is Nikki Wiesenfeld. I am a senior business development manager at Tablet and Michelin. I'm based in Portland, Oregon, on the West Coast, where we have no snow, and I'm very sad about it. Um, And I manage markets on the west coast of the US and also Canada and Germany. So I see a few familiar names here in the audience. So hello again. Thanks for joining us. I will let Angela introduce herself now.
Hello, everyone. My name is Angela Warner. I am the Tablet Pro coordinator as well as Group's travel specialist. I assist in customer service and I help travel agents with their accounts. They get set up. I also assist with trainings and group bookings and any customer service related questions. And thank you all for attending. It's nice to meet all of you.
And maybe Eva, if you want to say hello.
Hi, everyone. My name is Eva Perry. I'm an agent with McCabe World Travel. I'm currently based in Denver, Colorado, where it is warmer than Miami today. It's fine. I've been in the hospitality world, starting in hotels about, oh my God, 23 years ago. Oh, and I've been on this side since 2016. So I'm glad to be a part of this convo.
Thank you. And
I'm
Jill.
Jill Albino with Fora Travel based in New York City and part of Centum, which is the top 100 advisors with Fora Travel. And I've been in the business probably about 5 years.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us, both of you. It's really nice to have, we talk to hotels a lot from the our side, the business side perspective, the OTA side, and it's nice to be able to chat with people who are kind of boots on the ground, planning trips, dealing with their clients all day. So as I said before, we're here to kind of talk about some of the latest trends in hospitality and really how travel advisors are responding to these trends and guiding their clients. We also want to help you, our hotel partners, get a little insight into how professional travel advisors can help bring you more bookings and also what you can do to kind of have a good relationship with advisors. So if you attended our session a couple of weeks ago where we talked about travel trends and dug into some of the data from 2025 in our business, we talked a little bit about how the state of travel and especially luxury travel is really booming. So as a little refresher, in 2025, intercontinental travel for Tablet and Michelin increased 18% year over year. And domestic and continental travel increased 16% year over year. We know that there are lots of global uncertainties and uncertain economic climate. We were just talking about kind of what's happening in Mexico and the snowstorm in New York and lots of things happening in the world, but the hospitality sector and especially luxury sector really has proven resilient, and there are lots of projections. There was a study from the Boston Consulting Group that said that they expect they call it the $15 trillion opportunity in the next 15 years and expect luxury travel to really increase and for people to be willing to spend money on travel going forward. So we're pleased to hear this, and I know our hotel partners are seeing similar numbers and having similar outlooks. So also, just specific to this conversation, for our partners, our travel advisor partners, we've seen an increase of about almost 80% year over year in bookings from our pro advisors, and an 87% revenue increase year over year. So things are looking strong with regard to that relationship and just in general in the hotel business. So wanted to use that as kind of a jumping off point and just let you know that maybe if Eva and Jill, maybe Eva, you can start and just talk about how your business is looking and how things are going from your end as well.
Of course. Actually, the start to 2026 has been increasingly busy. Usually, January sees a little bit of a lull after the holidays, But it seems this year everybody had some kind of family conference. They've decided what they want to do for that for 2026 and even leading into the first quarter of 2027. It's been a very busy month. February is just dealing with all those inquiries that came in. So the first quarter is noticing a significant uptick in the booking window. Our 120 days have been blown out of the water because this is like 6, 7 months, even a year out. So that's an exceptional thing for us. But we've also seen last minute, all of a sudden people are like, oh yeah, spring break. So it's been a juxtaposition. So our averages are sort of back down to the 45-day window that we've been used to operating on since COVID. But it's been great. People are actually spending more, maybe like cutting off one day, but spending more for accommodation is what I'm seeing.
I'm seeing the same as well. I'm seeing clients who I've worked with since the beginning choosing higher end hotels, spending more, traveling more, going to different destinations. And my personal business has quadrupled this month compared to last year.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible. And are you
Last minute and advanced. So I'm
Yeah.
booking out to Christmas next year, festive next year, all the way to, spring break.
of 2027?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
What do you attribute to people looking that far ahead? Because that's kind of unusual, right? For people to be.
I don't know. I think people just want to go to more places. I also think social media is bringing a lot more interest to different destinations. So I have a lot of people in New York who would always do Florida, Mexico. Now they're seeing more, they want more, they want to go to different destinations. And a lot of them are just planners. So they want to have it down there. Also thinking that if they plan earlier, the rates will be better.
I've seen more that people don't want to give up the space. Like we have the chunk of people who will always go to Italy, Germany, like, but they don't want to miss out on getting the room that they want. And they know from being trained the past year and a half, especially, is that if you don't book at a certain time, you're unlikely to get what you want. So that increases my booking window because they really want to secure the room that they've seen on Instagram or whatever. So I think to your point, Jill, it really does have something to do with it. The social media kind of push.
Mm-hmm.
That's so interesting. So we're seeing a range from people booking last minute for spring break right now and maybe just kind of making that decision last minute, but then also people who really know what they want, who may want, a specific hotel, a specific room, a specific view, who are saying, I'm going to get this locked in right now. That's fascinating. And I think, Jill, you mentioned, you're seeing people kind of willing to spend more money. They're wanting to have that incredible hotel experience. I don't know if you can, if you've had people specifically say that, or if you're just seeing it in your
I'm just
in your
seeing it in
experience.
my numbers and for
Yeah.
specific clients who started out with me and their families. So it's not like they're, a couple who have, increased their overall salary. So there are families who have started out with smaller bookings and they're really putting all of their money into travel now.
Yeah.
That's great.
I do believe that's a COVID kind of aftermath where they realize they have to travel and want to make that time and maybe have learned this is how I've gotten some of the clients lately, but learned that booking on OTAs isn't always the most personal experience unless you have like something geared towards a certain client like Tablet and Michelin, right? They know what they're going for. So those booking engines are a little different, but the time that they're investing to go travel is very important to our travelers.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And people are really, oh, go ahead, Jill.
No. I was just saying all of those bucket list trips, I think they had on hold from the pandemic. Now they're like, now's the time to do it because we don't know what's going to happen in the future.
That's right.
There's some thought there of like, we need to do it.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think some people thought that was just going to be a strictly COVID rebound kind of phenomenon where people were saying, okay, we're going to do this once in a lifetime trip, but it's still continuing several years on. And I think people are putting, some of the research we've seen is that people are wanting to spend less on things or, material items and really have these experiences and do something they've always wanted to do, or do a family trip like you were talking about, Eva, or a big blowout trip. So
Yep.
I think, Eva, you talked a little bit about, Michelin and Tablet being a little bit different from other OTAs. We obviously have our new Key Awards, which we rolled out in a big ceremony last year. Do you find, for either you or Jill, do you find your clients specifically asked to be booked at Key hotels, or do you yourself look to kind of this curation when you're looking for inspiration or finding hotels?
I think both. So, what's been interesting in the past year is that my clients will come to me starting from the base of, we want to experience this Michelin restaurant, or this hotel looks so good, I had no idea about it, or things like that. So, Michelin has become a jumping off point to start from, and that's quite unique because usually it's location driven, and I'm not saying that it isn't, but it's funny how they're now coming to me with a little bit more of the detail in order to build off the detail and like create the location. It's very different than perhaps in the past. And I think that giving more hotels, restaurants, experiences, and those distinctive things that Tablet and Michelin have to them offers another level of filtering out the noise of experiences around the globe. And they feel comfortable with it. And I think that that's great. You've got notoriety. There's an insurance kind of policy on these places because they have been vetted. So that has kind of been the starting off point. It's very unique.
Absolutely.
My clients they don't want to look at
TripAdvisor. Yeah.
TripAdvisor,
Yeah.
or, you have two types of clients on there when you're looking for reviews. It's either very happy clients or ones that are looking for some type of revenge for a bad experience they have. So my clients come to me, they especially love when I've been to a destination personally or a hotel. That will drive the sale home right there, because they know we have similar interests and similar taste. So they'll appreciate that and want to book. But the Keys, it's a whole other vetted process for them. So they feel like that's a stamp of approval that's not coming from a random person.
Right.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and they are, determined by people who are staying in the hotels and are, objective and really looking for that incredible experience like your clients are. So
Yeah.
yeah. I guess this is probably a pretty general question, but considering the kind of state of the industry, and we know there are so many options, what do you feel like hotels can kind of do to stand out? Obviously, getting a key is a great, award, and it's something that does help distinguish hotels. But is there anything else you feel like, just from a general standpoint, that hotels can do? We could probably talk about that for several hours, but anything that stands out to you specifically?
It's service, 1000% service, knowing who your client is coming in, taking the time to understand who the client is, and those little special extra touches to make them feel the hotel knows them and that they're feeling like they're at home almost. And they're going to be going back and telling their friends about that experience, those unique, intimate experiences.
So I think to piggyback off of Jill, I think that it comes down to a more basic level of human connection. And that's what she's saying, essentially, like any connection that you have with the place, a person, a concierge, a salesperson coming to say hello, something small coming out from the restaurant to recognize that they're here on recommendation from, let's say, us, or even knowing that their friends had recommended, and this is for our tablet and Michelin and recognition and something like that. Those are all things that make it a little bit more special than just somebody who's booking off the street, you know. But to recognize, to use a name, to anything like that, a thank you for being there. Those are all little things that go miles for our clients. And even if it's not necessarily chocolates on the pillow anymore. How many years have we heard that? But it's strictly about sometimes the basic human connection and recognition.
I have an personal experience from recently going to a hotel where they knew I was a vegetarian. They knew that I loved creative food that was vegetarian. So when I ate at the restaurant at the hotel, they came over and they brought me, and they noted it to me. They said, "We heard you really like vegetarian creative food, so we made this amuse bouche for you." So I thought that was a really nice touch. It felt like they knew I was there. They knew who I was. And then when I got back to my room, they had drinks that they knew that I had liked, because they gave a form before we got to the hotel to fill out. So they knew spicy margaritas were a favorite drink, or Arnold Palmer's, and they had those waiting. So it was really special. Something that I will remember for sure.
Very cool. And Angela, I know you deal a lot with hotels and clients. I don't know if there's anything you hear specifically from our users about like what makes them happy, or what those little special touches are that they look for as well.
I agree with Jill and Eva. It really is about service from the very beginning, whether it be first speaking to your travel agent or the OTA. People just want to feel comfortable. They want to feel heard. They want to trust in your recommendations and where you're sending them. So I think that once a client is speaking to a travel agent or someone from an OTA who they know they can trust with those recommendations, once they're sent to the hotel, they don't have any stress with them. They're just ready to start their trip. So it's like an extra plus and an extra stamp once they get to the hotel and they see that that same service is just mirrored across the board.
And I think seeing, people, knowing that people are spending that money and investing in that experience, I think it makes the stakes even higher. No pressure to hoteliers, but it does increase, this could be a once in a lifetime trip or a twice in a lifetime trip. And so every little touch matters.
And when I call the sales team at Tablet, they'll also help me too. So sometimes I will get someone on the phone and I'll explain about my client, and I'll say, this is kind of what they're looking for. And your team has been incredible in helping me decide which best fits this client.
That's cool.
So
Thank you.
that's really helpful. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That's so great. Yeah. And we did not pay Jill to say that.
The check is marked after. I said, Jill, say something nice.
That's so cool. And yeah, and I think kind of going off of this idea of people looking for these once in a lifetime experiences and kind of investing more in experiences than things, we have seen from research and from some of our data as well that travelers are really looking for these kind of unique experiential trips. And I talked about it again in the presentation a couple weeks ago, but we're seeing a lot of crossover from people who are looking for an amazing restaurant experience and an amazing hotel experience, or they're looking for a unique, maybe whether it's a plus amenity to kind of bring them into their stay and really connect them with the hotel. And so I just wanted to chat, Jill and Eva, are you seeing this kind of trend, I can say, this movement with your clients? Are they looking for kind of these behind the scenes VIP or even just unique experiences with their hotel stays?
Absolutely. I think a good hotel stay can bring maybe opposite types of travelers together. I remember my booking last year at a Tablet Hotel in Vietnam, the Six Senses. They had an experience that you could cook alongside the chef, and then they'd bring that meal with you out onto the beach for a moonlight experience to enjoy what you've just cooked. Now, the reason that was such a big deal is because the doctor that I was booking is a very adventurous foodie. He would have been out on the streets getting whatever. And then his partner, his girlfriend, was the opposite. She was a vegetarian. She was very worried about food. And to give her the opportunity to almost be in control of that situation and be a part of it and become more excited about food outside of her box that she was safe in. They had the best time. They had the most wonderful review with that experience, and it shifted their travel partnership as well, to know that they could be brought together where something they both enjoyed at a unique in a unique experience.
That's nice.
Yeah, and I think being able to be a part of that and to literally hands-on to make something and to be a part of the making of something, it really connects you in a way that just being told, this hotel has a Michelin star chef and you can
Yes.
eat their food, and it's like, okay, great. I mean, that's wonderful and amazing, but to be able to actually connect with it on a human level is a whole other experience. And they are probably now asking you where else they can go, where they can do more
That is true. This
experiences
is true.
like
Yeah.
that.
The unique experiences are what clients want. They want their own story to tell when they come back from a trip. They have plenty of friends going to similar destinations, but they want their own story. They want their own experiences.
Yep.
Absolutely. And I think, we talk a lot about the sort of the crossover. Obviously, as from the Michelin Guide brand, we have the selection, the restaurant selection alongside the hotel selection. So we talk a lot about the crossover between foodies or restaurant lovers, food lovers, and hotels. And I know, Eva, you had mentioned that you sometimes have clients who are interested in a restaurant first and foremost, and then maybe kind of build everything out from that.
Exactly. I mean, that's a huge trend. My clients in specific, I have a large culinary following. That's why they book travel, is the enjoyment of food, and they've seen, whether it be a posting, a Michelin star, a mention, a new upcoming chef with a nomination from Michelin even is enough to get them to go and experience a restaurant, perhaps in a destination they wouldn't have ever thought. Like Denver, all of a sudden has become a foodie kind of explosion here. So now that's becoming a jumping off point, and people are utilizing that to form their trips and create their memories that way.
I'm seeing that as well, and I'm seeing concerts, I'm seeing games, sports,
Yes.
seeing fashion related, art related.
That's
People
really
are
cool.
traveling specifically for that and building around it.
Mhm.
Yeah. And is there anything you feel like hotels can do from that perspective to kind of knowing that the clients are coming looking for that experience for, along with an amazing hotel experience? Is there anything hotels can kind of do to supplement that or
I
complement that?
those extra little amenities, whether it's discussing with the travel advisor as an option to pay for it or include it, are these little extra, I had someone who was going to a football game and they left jerseys for my clients in the room for the kids. Like that was a home run for them. They were so excited to see that when they came in the room. I've had the Taylor Swift concerts and them leaving little fun things, little amenities in the room, because it shows that you understand why they are there and how to make it more of the experience tying in the hotel.
I think to Jill's point, recognizing why they're there, but also being smart to know your traveler. Some hotels are like, oh yeah, that's going on in the area. But if you're seeing more than 4 bookings already in like 2 weeks, you should start recognizing that that's a drive. And I mean, creating a package is not always something that you can do in a hotel at a certain point because of X, Y, and Z, but at least something that okay, so we're spending $20 extra to commemorate the fact that they're here for this. It'll change everything. And then maybe next year, because if it's a recurring thing, you want to have that traveler back. What would bring them back? You know, that's a huge thing, is repeat business. So I think remembering to be smart about what's going on, and even if it's the smallest thing, just, having reservations, ask, is there a certain reason why you're coming? That has been a huge thing. That's that simple phrase of finding out, is there a special occasion? We see that all the time on reservations. Like, are you celebrating a special occasion? Even just asking that from the hotel side, like, I may forget to tell you. I know why they're going, but maybe that information isn't coming out of my mouth. But just asking that, or like even in the notes field, maybe that's something we educate the travel advisors more on, right? Angela, we just say, please put in why they're coming in the notes box. We will help you convey that if it's something amazing, they're going to visit this. But like Taylor Swift concert, why would we not offer a special partnership or whatever to get them to the concert for X amount? Like, that would have gone huge for a lot of my clients. And some places were offering to do that, and some people were like, oh, well, we know Black Lane might do it. Well, why don't you take that extra step and just make that connection? So I'm just saying that's what I've
Yeah.
experienced.
Well, and Angela, maybe you can speak to, because we have something called Surprise and Delight with our clients, where we, will leave them a special gift, or kind of, run them some tablet merch if they're staying in New York. So, Angela, I don't know if you hear feedback from that from clients, but I know it's been fairly successful.
Oh, yes, we definitely do. We receive feedback from clients who get the little gifts in their room, and they're always so appreciative of it. Just because they know that we're thinking of them, and their trips are important to us, their stays and their experiences are important to us. And like, just to go back about what hotels can do more, I definitely agree with, like, when there are special things going on in the city, it would be nice, like, if they were offering a shuttle or something to take the guests who are going to those concerts. That really does go a long way. And also, like, for guests who are traveling during those busy times but may not be attending those specific events, I also think it's really nice, like, when the client goes to the front desk and their reception staff is just immediately giving them a list of recommendations or things that are happening in the area. I also think that goes a long way, because not every traveler goes through travel agents or even OTAs. Not everyone has a whole itinerary plan. So if, like, hotels just kept that in mind, that this may be a traveler who just, I want to go to Rome, but I have nothing planned, that those things really do go a long way for the guests.
Yep.
Absolutely. Full disclosure, Eva's husband is a hotelier who I have met and chatted with in the past, and I remember an anecdote he told me where they were using a very specific episode of TV, The Bear, which is a show about restaurants, but they were using an episode in part of their training. And the episode was all about hospitality, and it was all about restaurant hospitality and how you take care of your guests while they're there, and how you can surprise and delight them, and how you can go above and beyond. And I think it's interesting because, obviously from our perspective, we talk a lot about the differences, the similarities and the differences between restaurants and hotels. And you don't have as many. You have more time with a guest in a hotel, but you may not have as many touch points with them, or as many opportunities to connect with them in the way you do in a restaurant setting. But something as simple as, like you all mentioned, putting in the note, looking at the notes field of a reservation, asking them if they're here for a special occasion. You do that when you make a restaurant reservation anywhere. There's always an option to say if you're celebrating a birthday or something like that. So utilizing that aspect of it, and really, taking advantage of that opportunity to go above and beyond, and to really provide that experience, I think is so important. And it's good to see that it does bear out as far as loyalty and people wanting to go back to the same, not only to book through the same channel, but to go back to the same hotel and be a loyal user.
And bring their friends, because it's a lot of it's word of mouth.
Yeah.
For sure.
You're
Yeah.
so right.
Mhm.
So much. It can really make or break a hotel, as we know, yeah. Because people want the and we'll talk about this. We're going to switch topics a little bit and talk about kind of the rise of AI and how that's being used in the hospitality industry. But people do want that human recommendation, and I think it's one thing if you can see a anonymous review or even a vetted review of a hotel, but if someone you know and trust is telling you that they had a great stay and that they were taken care of, that goes a long way.
Even
So,
within the travel agents
Yeah.
group.
Oh yeah,
We all
we
Yeah.
talk.
talk,
We
guys.
all,
We
you know,
talk a lot.
discuss,
Yeah.
yeah, discuss experiences, and we will talk about like amenities, like who went out of their way for clients. So,
But it's even those, like you mentioned, Jill, having the sales team help you from Tablet, like that,
Mm.
to know that you have a resource and like that's helped, like your team is now on the list of people we'll call first, like that, or get in touch with first, like they're interested in these three, this is a little bit about them. Anybody can help you that way, make sure that it's great. That's key for us. And we
true.
talk about
Yep.
it. We talk about it, guys.
And then
I
the
will
one
say
thing about Tablet too is I always know that the hotels on there are such a good fit for my clients. I have a lot of
Yes.
artists, designers, fashion, food people, and I feel like that really aligns with the hotels that you have on your
Yeah.
site. So that's already cutting half of the workout for me. Is just going
yeah,
to
It's really
like
cool.
and choosing and seeing what's
Yeah.
on there.
I
yeah.
think some of my best reviews or my favorite reviews that we get from clients are from the travel agents because unfortunately, because like your client, they're not booking on the site directly, so they don't get a chance to leave reviews. So it's always nice when like an advisor reaches back out via email to tell us about their client's stay.
Okay.
That's great. I love that, especially like when it's from beginning to end. Like if I did recommend a hotel and then it turned out their client loved it and they're sending us the note saying how the hotel was great. They had a great time, a great experience, great service. It's great for us. It makes us feel better. It makes us feel like, oh, we're doing a good job, recommending hotels. So please send them.
Yeah,
Well,
that
and
is
Angela, to your point, I think it's also great, even if there's something that, I mean, human error is what it is in any business, right? But to be able to convey to you that, oh my gosh, their recovery was exceptional, like that
Mhm.
goes a long way too. Like you got to know that, yeah, things will go awry probably at some point, but their recovery was exceptional. Like those are the types of reviews I like to give because I've been on the other side. So I think that that's also helpful to know, like this went wrong. We didn't know about this, but we fixed it and they were happy. Like that whole arc is
Right.
also, I mean, just deal with it and we're happy with it. Like just deal with it,
and
right?
tablet is also an extra layer. Like sometimes
Mhm.
I'll forget or I'll get so busy that I'm like I have to VIP and then you've already done it for us.
Yeah.
So that helps us. It is an extra set of eyes on the bookings, which we appreciate.
Mm.
Yeah. And kind of going off what you said, Eva, I started off in my long career at Tablet and Michelin. I started in customer service and
Yes.
I never which is the best place to start, honestly, because you're
Yeah.
dealing with the end user and you're getting that sort of education directly on the ground. And I would never judge or fault or be upset with a hotel for something disappointing happening or an issue or,
Yeah.
a challenge. It's always about how it's handled. It's always about
Right.
how you follow through.
Always.
Things happen, mistakes happen, but how you make it right is the most important thing. And that's what people will remember.
So
Yep.
true.
Yep.
So true. So thanks for
So
that,
as
hotels. We appreciate that.
So as I promised, we want to just touch on one of the hot topics du jour of AI. I chatted about this again in my presentation, the travel trends presentation, which, by the way, if you weren't able to make it, we do have a recording available. So it will be up on the same site where you registered for this session. So just a little plug for that. But I want to talk about AI because we're seeing so much more traffic, so many more users that are finding our sites and finding hotels that are originating from places like ChatGPT or Mindtrip, which is a travel dedicated AI tool. I had mentioned in the presentation, sessions from users who come from ChatGPT to our sites have been increasing 32% month over month over the last year. And almost 60% of Gen Z and millennials use AI tools to get hotel recommendations specifically. So it's such an important thing to talk about. I think a lot of hotels are used to hearing or might talk more about AI from an operational perspective or an efficiency or training standpoint. But from our end, we're seeing it, from a place of discovery and people using it for inspiration or as a jumping off point to get hotel recommendations. So I'm curious to know, maybe Jill, I know you use it in your business. How do you use it?
I use it to create itineraries. Sometimes I'll take my information that I have and plug it in there and clean it up to create a quick itinerary, but not necessarily using that type of information from ChatGPT, but to clean up what I already have. But I'm also using it if, say, I don't know a destination very well and I need a kid-focused hotel. So I'll put that in there. I'll ask, what are the top 5 hotels that are wonderful for families in this area? And then I'll always fact check, but I'll see what comes up. I also check, if there's tennis courts or pools. So information like that. And then also how far a train station would be to the destination, in between destinations or an airport.
Yeah. It's a lot of logistical information and yeah, it's more, I mean, I think that's the name of the game with AI is the efficiency, right? Is that you could dig up and call hotels and find that information, but you're able to do it a lot faster and a lot more efficiently by using those tools. Yeah.
Really quick, especially if I'm on a call and they're like, how far is the train station from the hotel? I'm like, to get on this quick. Yeah.
I think also, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead, Eva.
I was just going to say, like, on the flip side of you being the person using the AI, I'm now being brought the things from their AI searches. And sometimes, Jill, I think you mentioned it, or was it Nicole, Nikki, the hallucination of AI, of ChatGPT specifically, how they'll put something in and it'll be, somebody mentioned something in Peru. Somebody talk about the hallucination part, because you have to be the one to be like, okay, that doesn't exist. So if somebody would like to take that.
Well, so yeah, I found this example of these 2 travelers in Peru who found this hike in the Andes, and there were pictures of it and all this information, and they took, they took a bus, they paid a bunch of money to take a bus to get to this place, and it didn't actually exist. And it was just a complete, so the hallucination, which is AI sort of combining information that does exist into something that doesn't actually exist. And there's so many examples of this happening too. I mean, that's just one of many. And obviously it can range from an inconvenience to, something potentially life-threatening, to just rely on that tool and to not fact check or do your due diligence. And I think that's kind of where, we talk about the human experience, and we have already chatted about humans recommending hotels or locations, but there's always going to be drawbacks with these tools, even as they improve and get better. And I think travel advisors, agents are always going to be necessary to kind of make sure that where you're going actually exists.
Yeah, that would be one thing that we can do for sure. Like, don't think that that's real. Think that's a Tolkien novel, but whatever, it's fine.
And
It's
we
fine.
also know our clients, like that you'll never get rid of that connection or understanding of what a person wants.
Yeah.
You know the person, you know their interests, you know their travel style. It's important to have that person on the other end being able to connect them to the right places.
That's right. Well, and it's
Absolutely.
just algorithms, they push availability and logistics and things like that, right? It's all data kind of pulled from places, but like we as advisors, we are able to curate like intention, like and like what's true. So I think to your point, we're the translators for AI as well. And also our clients' needs and wants. So
Yeah.
I think that's
Absolutely. And I think, you can be as specific as possible in AI and put what you want in, but a computer is never going to be able to tell you what kind of feeling you want to have when you stay at a hotel,
not
right?
yet. We haven't gotten
And
there yet.
yeah.
And it misses a lot of things too. I mean,
Mhm.
I'll put in a search sometimes for a destination. I'm like, why don't they have these amazing 3 hotels on this list?
Yep,
Right.
absolutely.
Like the algorithm, it's just not pinging where you would know, and that's huge. I
Yeah.
remember doing an itinerary around the world, or no, I was brought the itinerary to fly around the world, the around the world trip to like hit certain things. I'm like, I don't think they know that a flight doesn't take you from Johannesburg all the way to Buenos Aires in one shot. Like I don't think they know that. So it was very interesting. Like you can't do that. You won't be able to do that without stopping at least, once or twice. So it's very interesting.
Right. And you could, even if that's just your starting point, you could imagine the way a trip is going to be based on how an AI might tell you an
Yeah.
itinerary, and then you have to completely rethink it once you realize what's actually possible. And even something like that can cause disappointment, or
For sure.
maybe,
Yeah.
wanting to change everything up. So yeah, it's so important to have the kind of human experience and the actual people, actual real people, as long
Yes.
as long as we can have it.
Yeah, for sure.
I I think too, and kind of going off of that point, I know Eva, you had mentioned, um, you know, little things you like to do as an advisor to give that human touch, and ways that you can make clients happy, when they're kind of in the hotel. And I don't know if you want to speak on that a little more about things that you've done, specific, um, uh, sort of amenities or things you've done to kind of boost that experience for your clients.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think this kind of like just sums everything up, like just realizing why they're there. I remember one hotel did in fact um, do this. They had one client had booked through me, and then their friends were traveling as well. And that those people didn't book with me, but what the hotel did, because I had made a touch point, had told them, listen, they're coming with their friends. I want to make sure that they feel amazing because they weren't booking a high category like the other friends were. I want to make sure they feel as special as those villa clients that they had. So the hotel was greeting them, saying, "Oh my goodness, we are so glad that Eva Perry sent you here. We're so happy you're with us. She would like to have this aperitivo for you." They also like sent them little gifts at night. And they weren't very expensive or anything. It wasn't like, but they were sitting on their porch having a cocktail with these people, and there was a knock from room service, and they had brought them something. Just be like, we're just so glad that you're enjoying the outside today. That never happened in the Villa People's thing that had booked direct and not through the channels I told them to. I digressed. But they now have come to me with, oh, we see that you have that connection and you know how to ask, or you know how to channel these things. And that's also, I mean, it's good for us, but it's also interesting for them to be taught that there's a channel that then gets the service or the recognition or those kinds of things that they were not aware of. And that's training your clients too, but also making them realize there's an extra step to service at these restaurants and hotels and things like that. That's a unique thing, I have to say.
Absolutely. And I think everyone feels like when things like that happen, the guest feels like they've made the right choice, both by booking
Totally.
with you and by booking at that hotel, because everyone gets it,
Yep. Yeah,
and
for
it's
sure.
just a win for everyone.
Mhm.
And I think, you had mentioned an example of, buying the guest a round of drinks,
Yes. Oh,
and
yes. Hmm.
and them, having it be a surprise on arrival, and then that gets them into the bar and maybe into
Totally.
the restaurant, and then they're spending more money. There's kind of this snowball effect, where it benefits everyone.
Well, and to your point, Nikki, sorry. Yeah, of course. The making it easy for me to relay that information and having that connection and setting that up is only a win-win for both of us, the hotels, the restaurant, the me, like yes, but making it available for me to do that was key. Some places don't necessarily make that easy for us to arrange that, and I wish more would. Maybe that's something a hotel can talk about. Like, yes, they would like to pay $150. Let's make this happen. Take my credit card, just arrival, enjoy the lounge a little bit. Your room may not be ready, but I have this available to you. And then in turn, it then snowballed into more drinks and appetizers and then into dinner. They didn't know what they were doing for dinner. So you have an opportunity to up your RevPAR at a hotel by making this access easier for us to obtain and demonstrate to the guest, like you're saying, Nikki.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think like if hotels offered a more amenities for like drink vouchers, that definitely does
Something.
keep, yeah, that definitely does keep the guest in the hotel. Because when people travel, not everyone is just going to stay at the hotel, especially if you're not staying at a resort. So bringing people into your bar and the restaurant that's on site, it just brings in more revenue for the property. It's a
Yeah.
better experience for the client. I think it's a great idea.
There's
Yeah.
a
Thank you.
hotel we stay at all the time, and they have happy hour. So they give every room 2 drink tickets, and everyone
Mhm.
comes down, but you also have a chance to meet other people if you wanted
Right.
to at the hotel. It's really nice. And it is, there's families, they have games
Yep.
set in the lobby area. It's really nice. It's a nice touch.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we do see, just from our data, we see that hotels that are in our Plus program that offer kind of these more unique amenities, or specifically food and beverage amenities, do book, I mean, in some cases up to 150% more than the location average. So we
Wow.
know our users and our Plus members are looking for those those kind of unique touches, and specifically around food and beverage as well. So
Well, and I think our clients that are in line with the Michelin experience, they're bringing in higher revenues. I mean, like it's a higher yield client, isn't it? Like we know we're placing those people there. They're not going to cancel. They're less likely to cancel, I should say, but they're going to bring more in for the activities in the hotel, the spa, the restaurants, the hotel bars, like all of that. We have those clients, and knowing your people on this end and making connections from the hotel on this end, or reading the things in tablets, the newslettery things or the informational blurbs that you get as a hotelier, you really need to stay on top of that. It's your job to know your people and to make that connection and to find your people. Not everybody's going to be a fit for everywhere, right? But knowing your people, knowing that Jill has the fashionistas and you're a Milan hotel, like that's a connection you want to make. Those are the types of things you want to curate. And we know that too, but taking the extra step to get to know us is a huge deal for you because we're just going to funnel because people know to call Jill because she has the fashion or design and art people. People know to call me because I do culinary experiences for families. Like, and my recommendation will then branch out. You have that effect. And the clout that these Michelin and tablet hotels have, it goes miles, but only as far as I can talk. So, sometimes
Right.
it makes a
And
big
that
difference.
that word of mouth, it's everything in those circles too. And having that being vetted by someone who you can
Yeah,
trust is the
Mhm.
most important thing. And I think
for
we're
sure.
all aligned in that goal of of being those people to
Yeah.
trust. We just have a couple of minutes left. I wanted to open it up even with just a few minutes to see if anyone had any burning questions from the audience. You can feel free to put it in the chat, or if you want to raise your hand and unmute yourself, we can do that as well. Um, if you have anything you've been dying to ask a travel agent or Angela or me, um, we're happy to do that while we have a couple of minutes left. Where and while we're just giving it a couple of minutes, are there any specific destinations, Jill and Eva, that you are seeing kind of exploding right now?
Japan and all of Europe always. I mean, for me, it's always France and in Italy and Greece and Portugal and Spain. And
Yeah.
so, but
Europe hasn't slowed down. Costa Rica has gone off the charts for me this year. I'm like, okay. And Japan, but that's been two of my last minute things for spring
oh
break.
God,
I was like, okay, like not the
that's hard.
easiest, but sure, let's do this.
Yeah.
I have a
Um,
friend who's going to Costa Rica in a couple of weeks, and I was helping her look at hotels, and the rates for
Ridiculous.
hotels were wild.
Yeah.
I've never seen them like that before.
I
So
same. I was like the
yeah.
same trip last year that was like maybe 3,800, like for a solo traveler is now like 7,000.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, guys, simmer down. But
Hmm.
it's good to see that country getting some recognition too. So
Well, I will say with tablet, there's always reasonable hotels. Like I
yeah,
will go off
exactly.
of my booking portal directly to tablet to see what are really good hotels that could fit in people's budgets. You have a wide
Mhm.
array of hotels.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that's really, really fantastic.
We're always trying to find exclusive offers and all those good things because
Right.
nobody wants to pay more than they have to, even if they're willing to spend.
Hmm.
Libby, I saw you had a question or you had raised your hand if you want to
Thank you,
say
Nikki.
hello.
So, hi, Libby Rice from Under Canvas and Illume. So we're glamping. Great. Glad to see you know us.
Yes.
Quick question, or two questions. One, I'm curious why you'd use travel like Tablet Pro instead of using a consortia program. In full disclosure, we're not in any of the consortia programs, but I'm just kind of curious when you do have that choice. And then second, we are supposed to recognize your client as being a Tablet Plus booking. Is that what you would like, or you want us to recognize your agency? So it feels a little bit when we don't know that it's an agent booking. So it feels like a little bit of a disconnect that we're recognizing your client and thanking them for booking through tablet, and that may not be what they think they booked through. So curious how you want us to handle that.
I think any booking portal is you have to recognize how they booked because it's a choice from your agent and there's a reason and you kind of like know who your client is through tablet. You have to say thank you for being a tablet, thank you for your tablet booking. We understand your travel agency or your travel agent booked you with us and we're delighted to have you. Like you can do both. I mean, there's no reason you can't. But the reason that I book maybe something not on my consortia rate is that tablet will offer certain rates that I can't get through my consortia booking program because it's a set and it's not necessarily vacillating with the the rates that are going up and down or whatever's, it hasn't been loaded or something. So I always go to see a la minute. It seems that tablet hotels in that pro portal have more a la minute offerings as I find them or don't find them within my consortia platform.
Mhm. And like I had mentioned before, for me, it's another level. It's having another person there. So if I book Virtuoso, that's great. I have those perks, but really when I'm working with Tablet, they're helping me. We're working together on the booking, and they will reach out if I can't, or we both will. So for me, it's an extra layer.
Yeah, and I forgive me if I'm wrong on this, Angela, but I mean there, like Eva said, there is a way to greet the guest and to know, like, you can work together with the advisor and let the hotel know that, you know, they're the specific advisor for this client, and, you know, it's coming from Tablet or Michelin, but also the advisor.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Like if the advisors reach out to us and they let us know that they want to leave like a note or something special for their client, and we contact the property, usually with the agent in copy, telling the hotel that this particular reservation was booked by this advisor. These are the Tablet Plus amenities. Could you leave this note from the advisor in the room? So it's not that the client isn't aware that they're receiving the Tablet Plus benefits, but they're also aware that their travel agent booked this for them. So it's really just like we're working together for the best experience for the guest possible.
Thanks.
And then we had another question in the chat of wondering about sustainability. So different initiatives and how much it plays a role into potential guest decision making. I know I've chatted about this before, and it kind of goes along with what we talked about with this, you know, with this client that Eva had, where they were helping to make the meal, the special meal. And I think there is a little bit of fatigue, I think, from what I've seen from the end user on sustainability, because they're kind of tired of being told just a list of things that hotels are doing, right? And being sort of told, oh yes, you can leave this card out if you don't want your sheets washed, and that's great, you know. But that doesn't connect the guest with these initiatives or these efforts. So I think just to kind of broadly answer that question, that's what travelers are looking for, is to connect with these initiatives.
Mhm.
And I would agree. I think now it's expectation. It's not a proof selling point. Like we expect hotels
Yeah.
to be sustainable. Like everybody does their part. So I think anything that you can do. Song Sa in Cambodia still does the handmade bamboo straws, and they said, please take these and use them through your life. Like from here, we don't throw them away. You know, like that's something they give to you to use, but also to take with you to do your part for from then on. And it's just a little thing, but you know, those tiny touches
I
do
still
matter.
have chopsticks from the Nam Hai in
Yes. I still have mine.
Nice.
It's
They're the
crazy from their
best.
GHM days. I still have them. So yeah, I mean
Yeah.
those are the little things. Yeah, it's something you bring with you, but you also remember that they don't use plastic or they're using cornstarch cups instead of X. Like you do remember that, but it's not why I book anymore. It's just that I expect that you're going to do something for the environment. So any little thing that you can then remind them, like, oh, you are, you know, saving the ducks or whatever it is you're doing. That is something that still means something, but not in your face, like you said, Nikki.
Yeah, I mean, I think any way that you can get the guest involved where they know they have they're participating in those efforts in any way, I think is the most important thing. Like you said, some of these baseline measures are expected now. So there is kind of this desire to take it a step further and to feel like you're participating as a guest in these efforts.
Oh, like the water bottles, the things that they give you, like at resorts or whatever, they give you your own water bottle and then you fill them up and like you're doing that part. You're not taking the, you know, Dasani bottles with you everywhere and checking them every time you're thirsty. Like that's participating. You're participating in it. You're carrying your bottle. Like, yes, I agree for sure.
Absolutely. There's a hotel. Oh, go ahead, Jill.
Nope, go ahead.
So the hotel, there's a hotel in Morocco. It's La Fiermontina, and it won in October. It won the local gateway award from Michelin at our ceremony in October. And the idea around the award was a little bit about local connections, sustainability, local efforts, bringing the property in with the local community. And they have outreach programs that they involve guests in, where they go, either volunteer or just connect with the local community in various ways and things like that. I mean, that all kinds of speaks to the umbrella of sustainability. I think it's really
sure.
Being a part of that authentic experience as a guest in someone's in their town or their village. And I remember the hotelier, when she accepted the award at the ceremony, she said, "We are their guests," as in like the people who live here, like we are their guests. And I thought that just really was such a impactful thing to say. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. That's really cool.
Yeah. I was going to
Alright.
say, aside from sustainability, is just that tablet. Also, you have a lot of hotels that I can't find anywhere else. I don't
Mm.
book net rates. So if a hotel is only offering net rates, I don't do that.
Mm.
So for me, that's another big push with tablet. You have a lot
Yeah.
of the smaller hotels.
Yeah, absolutely. And we really will, I mean, it goes along with our goal of curation and finding the best hotels in the world. We will, I've just onboarded a 2-room property in Iceland, and I work with a 3,000 room hotel in Las Vegas. We
Yeah.
really run the gamut of all different kinds of experiences. So it's,
Mhm.
it's an array for sure. All right. Well, I think we can leave it there. I don't see any other questions. If you are in the audience and you think of anything else you want to ask, feel free to send us an email. Thank you so much to Jill and to Eva, Angela. Really appreciate you all spending some time with us today. Thank you to all of our hotel partners for joining as well. This was super fun. So thanks again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take
Bye.
care.
Bye.
Bye.
I can't get off of this. Whoops.